Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Sagittarius, we're going to jump on in. We're going to start with looking at your recent past, current energy, and immediate future through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the reading with tarot as we progress. But first, we're going to start with looking at what you guys have been dealing with. Let's see what we've got here for you, Sagittarius. Work through your fears. I feel like you've been dealing with a lot of heavy energy recently here, Sagittarius. You have conclusions are within reach. I feel like you're breaking out of a pretty difficult period of your life, a pretty difficult cycle. And I feel this cycle has been going on for quite some time now here for you. And I feel that because this cycle has been going on for quite some time, a lot of fears have started to or have been rising around maybe your ability to be happy, your ability to be loved, to be abundant, to find success, to find freedom. And I feel like, one of the things that I've really learned is the closer we get to the end of a cycle, the heavier things feel, the more realistic our fears start to look, the more that our anxiety and insecurity starts to arise. And it doesn't necessarily mean that things, that we're not closing out a cycle. What it means is that everything kind of is coming to a head in that moment, and we're being asked to continue to move forward, believing that things are working out for our highest good, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. So I do feel like like I said, you're breaking out of a difficult period. I feel like you've been dealing with this for a while, but let's see what we've got here for your current energy, Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. That is a full moon in Sagittarius card, which is literally like closing out. Full moons are all about the endings of cycles, closing out certain experiences, stepping into new ones. You have be bold and make the first move. Oh, and then prosperity lies ahead, but it was hiding underneath be bold and make the first move. When we go through a lot in our life, it's easy to allow those experiences to really keep us stuck. We experience heartbreak or failure, financial struggles, and it's like, why even try if, this is how it's going to be? Why put myself out there, or why take the risk, or why, if it's always going to be hard, or it's always going to end like this. But the thing is, you're closing out a cycle. And when we learn what we need to from a cycle, we can close the door on that. We can trust that we don't need to repeat that again, right? We went through that experience to learn what we needed to grow how we needed to heal how we needed to. It doesn't mean that that cycle or that experience is going to repeat. So this, to me, it feels like taking a chance after like some sort of failure, like putting yourself back out there, opening your heart again, or, starting something new again, to allow yourself to still believe in the possibility that you can have the prosperity that you want here. So maybe there was, a failure or a door was shut. And I feel like there was a lot of grief, like I said, kind of a lot of darkness involved in that situation. But I feel like now is the time to open yourself back up to possibility, even if you're still struggling to believe in it. I know it's really easy to allow experiences that we have to dictate our future, but we are not a product of our past. At least we don't have to be a product of our past. We can be a product of the person that we choose to be in this moment, or the life that we choose to claim for ourselves in this moment. What does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? Show the world the real you. Oh, I like this. It's time to release negativity. This is very much like, you know, it's kind of powerful in a lot of ways, because it's like you've been through so much and you've done, you know, so much healing, so much growing. One of the most beautiful things about picking yourself back up after struggle is realizing that nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can take your strength away from you, your confidence away from you, your abilities away from you. You have the power to create a life beyond your wildest dreams, and nothing can stand in your way of that. And sometimes getting through like some of the most difficult periods of our life, not to glorify those periods or not to say like, oh, you should just be so thankful for it, because that's not realistic, but or healthy. But sometimes when we make it through some of the most difficult periods of our life, we get to the other side and we say, you know what, I did that. And if I can make it through that, like I can make it through anything. And we trust ourselves to be able to handle, you know, more than we ever have before, which pushes us into making, you know, taking bigger steps and trusting ourselves more than ever before. So this really feels like almost like returning back to your light. I feel like your light's really been dimmed for a while by the experiences that you've been through. And I feel like this is really standing tall in that light again after a really lengthy and difficult period of darkness. So this is a pretty beautiful reading, to be honest with you. Let's see what else we've got here for you guys. My sleeves on this sweater are so big. I feel like I'm just knocking everything over when I reach for it. All right, let's look at this theme, overall theme of this reading here for Sagittarius. What is the message coming through here for you guys? What ultimately is happening in this energy? Divine masculine energy. This divine masculine energy is all about, we all have divine, you know, masculine and feminine energies within us. This is not about somebody else. Okay, this is not about another person. This is about you, and this is the energy that's reflecting in you. The divine masculine within us is all about claiming the life that we desire. The divine feminine is being open to receiving it. The divine masculine is about being open to going after it. So this is about healing certain parts of yourself that have held you back for a while, maybe have kept you from taking certain risks, or has kept you in toxic cycles. Like, I feel like you have really met yourself in a way that you never really have before. You have this message card here. Let me see. Let me get more on this message. Air. Oh, this is so beautiful. And then you have relief here. This really is so beautiful. Things might seem up in the air here for you. Like, that's what I'm getting with this air card. You're being really in your head, overthinking, you know, allowing your worries to kind of run away with you. And that makes a lot of sense. But now is not a time to overthink or overprocess. Now is a time to claim, a time to embody, a time to go after the things you deserve and desire, to allow to kind of taking your life back in a certain way. And I think that, like I said, it's a really beautiful reading, and I think it's really important for a lot of people out there. This isn't, Spirit wants you to know, this isn't about somebody else. This is about you. Like, even if you're a cross watcher too, like, this is about you. I don't know. All right, let's dive into this here for you, Sagittarius. Let's look at this past energy more. Conclusions are within reach. Work through your fears. You've come so far, Sagittarius, and I really feel like you should be so proud of yourself for how much you have overcome here. Oh, goodness. Cards are all over the place. 9 of Swords. See, you've been in a really difficult period for a while. 2 of Cups in reverse. It's almost like I can kind of see like it's been this, just like it's been winter and it's been cold and it's been, you know, snowy and everything's frozen over, and now the sun is starting to rise again. King of Cups in reverse. Oh, okay. You know, this really is like, it's kind of giving that energy of like dark night of the soul in a way, where this period, yeah, okay, Seven of Cups, has been really transformative in a lot of ways, but I feel like it's also, you know, caused you to meet some of the, you know, to face some of the darkest parts of yourself, some of the darkest parts of your mind. Like, this is really intense, and I think that, you know, I kind of felt that right out of the gate with this work through your fears and conclusions are within reach. This is a period of a lot of, like I said, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of insecurity. And with the Two of Cups in reverse, it's almost like there's just been this disconnect from your happiness, or from, you know, your excitement about your life. Like, this is very much like, I just need to get through, you know, just going through the motions, kind of putting your head down and just trying to make it through, one foot in front of the other kind of energy. And with this, like, Seven of Cups, I feel like, you know, this is the kind of energy that, you know, would break a lot of people. But the thing is, Sagittarius, is it didn't. You came out the other side of this. And I feel like you came out of the other side of this, even if you don't feel like you're fully there yet. Like, I feel like you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, or if you don't see it, it is there. This King of Cups in reverse card is kind of this energy of, you know, when we go through certain experiences in our life, you know, when we're treated certain ways, or we experience heartbreak or failure or whatever, we start to take on the belief that that's what we're worth, right? We literally hear voices in our head that are like, you know, you can't have more than this, or who, you know, you're unlovable, or you're not worth it, or you're not deserving, or whatever. I feel like you were like really fighting with those parts of yourself through this energy, where it's like, you know, having to believe in your worth and your deservingness, and continue to have faith in your ability to create a life that you deserve, or to find success, or whatever, despite just really feeling like the world was saying otherwise. I'm getting kind of emotional for you guys. I feel like you guys have fought through a lot, and, you know, there are really beautiful things on the other side of this energy for you. Like, this energy in the future, it feels so much more light, feels lighter, it feels warmer. This has been a long time coming for you too. Current energy for you, Sagittarius: be bold to make the first move, look at the bigger picture. King of Swords, Knight of Swords in reverse. You've been chasing, you know, maybe it's, and you've been doing this in the past, okay? Chasing, you know, the love of another person, chasing your worth and your validation, maybe in success and in career and in, you know, things outside of you. But, and I think that you hit, yeah, because then there's the Tower, there's the Moon. Things didn't work out. I feel like things started to fall apart, things started to collapse. And that's where a lot of the fear was replaced, is it was like, okay, maybe I'm not enough, or maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I can't have these things. But Spirit wasn't trying to take you away from the opportunities of what it is that you deserve. Spirit's trying to move you toward the ones that align with you more than ever before. Because I feel like what you were chasing wasn't what you deserve. It didn't align with what you're worth. It didn't align with what you deserve. It's, you know, it's interesting because when we experience certain things, we go, oh, since this didn't work out, that's proof I'm unworthy, or that's proof I'm undeserving, or if this failed, or I hit this point of failure, that means I am a failure and I'm never going to be able to find success. So it feels like you've been in this period of really picking yourself back up after a lot of healing. There's a warning here, okay? You don't want to go back to the energy that you have worked so hard to get out of, right? You don't want to find yourself back in the same places with the same types of people and the same outcomes. So what you're needing to ask yourself right now is, because we don't fully close a cycle until we're presented with an opportunity to repeat that cycle and we choose not to. So you're really needing to pay attention to the energy that you're embodying right now, to the way that you are showing up, to be very discerning around what you're choosing and what you're investing in. Because here's the thing, Sagittarius, you have come way too far to let somebody else or let a situation pull you backwards. You've come way too far. You've been through too much. You've gotten yourself through too much to go backwards, right? So I feel like you're kind of at this crossroads right now. And this crossroads is moving forward to, standing in your power and standing in your light more than ever before, or being pulled back to old cycles. And I feel like you're needing to be very aware of that and to remember all of the things that, all of the ways that you've healed, all of the ways that you've grown, all of the ways that you've made it through, like I said, some of the most difficult periods. You don't need to go back there, okay? You don't need to experience those things again. You can choose to believe that better is possible. You don't need to go back to an ex. You can choose to believe that there is a healthier, more emotionally available love for you. You don't need to go back to a job that makes you miserable just to pay the bills. You can believe that there is a path that fully aligns with you, that provides you with financial abundance and gives you the sense of purpose and security that you need. Like, this is about allowing yourself to believe in a better future for yourself in a way that you never have before. Spirit doesn't push you to the point of, a better way of saying this is that endings and loss, failures and loss and endings, those are never destinations. They're an indication that you're in the middle of the journey, okay? You have been on this journey for a really long time and you are ready for better. You're ready for new experiences. You're ready for new opportunities, but you have to stop trying to recreate the past. You have to be very clear with yourself and be like, you know what? I know what these decisions lead to, so I'm not going to make those decisions. I'm going to make these decisions. That's what this whole energy right now is about for you, is reclaiming your power over your life and realizing that you don't have to go back to the things that broke you. You can choose to believe that better is possible for you, because better is possible for you. And if you're willing to do that, if you're willing, and I've always said, part of saying yes to what it is that you deserve and desire is saying no to anything that doesn't align with you, even if that comes with the fear that nothing better is going to come along. Because the more that you're willing to refuse to go back, to refuse to settle, to refuse to accept less than what you deserve, the more that you create what it is that you actually deserve. But when we approach our life from a lack mentality, when we believe nothing better is going to come along, or, it has to look like this or has to be like this, we in that moment start to get ourselves out of alignment because we're saying, I've got to do what I can to make this happen, which keeps us stuck in the cycle. Right? You've come too far. You've overcome too much to let yourself be pulled backwards. Okay? This is all about moving forward toward what it is that you do deserve. And I feel like with this Knight of Swords in reverse, there's a need to slow down. King of Swords being very discerning right now. Very discerning about where you're directing your energy, about what you're choosing, about what you're allowing into your life. It's kind of like a protecting your peace kind of thing. You don't want to allow into your life the same things that broke you. Right? You want to open up to the things that are finally going to treat you the way that you deserve. What does Sagittarius need to know moving forward? That's the message. That's the biggest message here. Queen of Swords. Open-minded, open-hearted. The Five of Wands. Sagittarius, I feel like you're a little bit stubborn. Feel like you've got some stubbornness in you. Then the Eight of Cups. There's a need to let go of... Okay. There's a need to let go of your need to be right, or your need to have it all figured out. And I think that might be the hardest thing for you right now, is to allow whatever is meant to be. And I don't know necessarily how that relates to this reading, okay? But what I do know is that right now, the thing that is absolutely the most important is that you are making in each moment decisions that align with your highest good, that you are choosing only what serves you, only what aligns with your value and your worth, and only what adds peace and love to your life, not what adds chaos or drama or distraction or, toxicity. I feel like you've been going through like a mass clearing almost in your energy. And I feel like what's really hard is, maybe you really wanted that relationship to work. Maybe you really needed this path to work out. Maybe you really wanted this specific thing to happen. Right now is a time of closing the door on what isn't meant to be, even if you desperately wanted it to be that. Because that is what is going to open you up to what is best for you. And I think that as you're moving forward and stepping out of your comfort zone here, what you don't realize is in this energy, if you are willing to do this, okay? Because remember, tarot doesn't tell you your future. Tarot shows you possibility. It's energy that you are capable of claiming. When you look at this energy, if you are willing to do this, you open up so many more doors for you. Okay? You have so much more ahead of you than you think that you do. But you have to claim that. You have to claim your worth enough to say, you know what? I am not going to settle. I'm not going to believe the best is behind me. I'm not going to believe that this is all that I deserve. I'm not going to believe that what I deserve and desire has to be forced. Finding the balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine is trusting that showing up in alignment with your highest good is enough for you to receive. Setting a boundary and letting go of what doesn't serve you might cause you to lose certain people, but it's going to open the door for what's meant for you. Refusing to settle for lack of compensation, starting that spiritually aligned business, whatever it is, all of these things feel like risk in the moment because they require you to trust in your worth and your deservingness of having a life that aligns with what you've always wanted, a life beyond your wildest dreams, right? That doesn't just happen. The life that you desire doesn't just happen, okay? It is intentionally and consciously created. And right now, you are in the middle of being given the opportunity to do that. But there's a crossroads, and I'm going back to this because it's important. You're either going to create better for your future or you're going to repeat your past. Right now, approach every single situation, every single moment of your life and say, what has past me done? In a moment like this, in a situation like this, what have I done in the past? Has that led me to the life that I want? Has that led me to the outcomes that I desire? No? Okay, what can I do differently this time? How can I show up more aligned with the version of me I'm becoming, the life that I want to create? Because that life that you want, it already exists for you. It's already there. The love that you desire, the abundance that you desire, the freedom that you desire, it already exists, okay? It's not a can I have it, can I not? It's can you give yourself permission enough to claim it where you are unwilling to go backwards into what doesn't serve you, to settle or to burn yourself out in spaces that don't align with you. Are you willing to get unwilling is a good way of putting that. Because if you are in the process of opening up so many doors for yourself, okay? There are so many doors on the other side of this cycle. You've been dealing with this cycle for a long time. It's time to put it to an end. Because this cycle is going to lead you to the exact same spaces. In Sagittarius, you have come too far and you've been through too much. You've come too far and you've been through too much to allow this cycle to repeat. All right. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this, ultimately asking the question, what do you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? So we're looking at that tangible advice, and then I've got an advice card to pull for you at the very end. Any information on this is in the description box below. What also is in the description box below at the very top is the sign up for my most recently announced workshop, which is all about how to read tarot. Now, this workshop is not how to shuffle cards, what are the meanings. This is about how to connect with yourself in a deeply aligned and intuitive way so that you can read for your highest good. This is just kind of sharing my tips and tricks and what I've learned along the way. I've gotten a lot of requests for this workshop. I haven't felt called to do it until very recently. So I have finally decided to put it together and put it out there for you guys. It is a live workshop. It's happening December 12th at 6 p.m. Central Time. However, if you cannot make it live and you purchase a ticket, you will receive the replay. I am limiting seats for this workshop. I do expect it to sell out. Just throwing that out there if you are interested. Any information is at the very top of the description box below. As always, thank you so much, Sagittarius, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing, and I'm wishing you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Sagittarius.